It's a new hit list on 102.7 Kiss FM. I'm Kayla, and I have Destiny Rogers. Hi.
Hello. How are you?
Welcome to Kiss, finally.
Yes, I know.
It's about time we got you here.
Long time coming.
Yeah.
I've dreamt of this already.
I loved your song, Summer Nights. That's when I first got introduced to you.
Oh,
and I was like,
thank you.
yes, this girl's so dope.
Thank you.
Love the song Tomboy as well.
Thank you so much.
Your stuff was going viral on TikTok. And I'm
Yeah.
like, when I heard that you were coming in, I'm like, oh my gosh, like, and this is a true Cali girl. I can't wait to pick her brain about everything.
Thank you so much.
Born and raised here, right?
Born and raised Cali.
I heard that you just love talking about where you're from, right?
I do.
You were on stage one time. I saw in a video and you were just talking about what the city has done for you.
Yeah.
Can you share why it's so important to you to rep this city so hard?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I feel like the West Coast, all parts of the world are just so inspiring, but the West Coast, especially in the music, like it has just such like inspiration coming from here. I'm from Northern California, from a super small town called Lodi. And the reason why I talk about being from there so much is because Lodi is just so small. Nothing comes from there. Like, we're literally known for our wine. It's a wine country. It's super, like, nothing really, like, big comes from there. And I knew that once I started having these dreams for myself and I wanted to pursue music full time, that I wanted to take it bigger than just my small town and move to a big city like this. So I'm also like half Mexican. So I grew up listening to all the West Coast, rappers, and just that influence is just like heavy on me. And that's something that a lot of people don't know about me. So that's why I also like to talk about it and shine some light on that side of me, just so people, can get to know me a little more and relate to me on another level.
Yeah,
so,
correct me if I'm wrong, but you hustled to get here. You played at local bars and stuff before like popping off. Were there specific places that you played at that you want to shout out?
Yeah,
humble beginnings, right?
Yeah,
like,
humble beginnings.
Where'd you start?
It's so funny because every time I go home, like I'm always driving by the restaurants and like the little cafes I used to perform at, and I'm just like, wow,
nostalgic.
Yeah. But in Stockton, California, I performed at this little like restaurant / like brewery called Cast Iron, and they booked me every Friday night, and I would sing for like 2 hours, only for like $100.
Wow.
Like, yeah, so I'd sing for 2 hours, and then I sang at this restaurant in Lodi called Woodbridge Crossing. It's like a restaurant and bar. Did open mics there on Wednesday nights, and did the farmers market, street fairs. I'd busk. I'd put my guitar case out, and the locals would come and throw in little, dollar bills and stuff. So I was making money too. So it was nice.
I love it. Now look at you, radio hits and that's everything.
I know, made it out the city, man.
Yeah,
now
it
I'm
shows
here.
you that anything is so possible.
Yeah.
So when you think of a place in LA or anywhere in California where you made the most memories, where would that be?
Oh man, probably here in Burbank.
Okay. Why?
Well, because my aunt and my uncle moved here back in like 2010. And every time, we're not too far from Lodi to Burbank. It's literally like 5-hour drive. But I'd always do trips coming here, and we'd always stay with my aunt and my uncle in Burbank. So most of the memories are made here, going to City Walk. We'd go to Santa Monica, go to the beach. But yeah, it's just like those like childhood like memories. And I always thought of LA as just like this magical and dreamy place that I've always felt called to live in and potentially pursue my dream and stuff like that. So as a young kid, when you have these dreams, I don't know, it's just like, just a magical time for me because I knew I wanted to take it. I wanted to take it here one day.
And isn't it amazing that you're actually making it happen in
that
city
now? It's
now?
so crazy, dude. Yeah, because now my niece is like 17 and like she wants to move to LA and like lead in my footsteps and come here. And I was like, girl, if I did it, if I came out of where we came from, you could do it too.
Yeah.
And that's for everybody,
You have a song, speaking of you repping the West Coast, you have a song called Westlake.
Yeah.
What do you think about what Kendrick did for the city and uniting everybody?
Oh my gosh. Okay. I wish I was there. I had no idea that was happening, but it was awesome seeing literally all types of like, rappers up there that were just like showing each other love, and things like that. Just showing love, supporting each other. Kendrick is just one of my all-time favorite rappers. Like it kind of made me like emotional. I got chills like watching the whole performance from front to back on YouTube. And like obviously my boy Kalen Furrow, who's on Westlake, was on the stage. So him being able to provide the spotlight for all of these like up and coming like rappers from LA, from the West Coast.
Yeah.
It's just like him like passing the baton. You know what I mean? It's just like I don't know. It was super cool and inspiring.
It was. I'm not from here. I'm from the East Coast, but it made me want to be from here. You know,
Dude,
like you don't see that every day, especially people from all different types of just walks of life coming together like that. You know, it was so inspiring.
Exactly.
You have a lot of the West Coast sound in your music, Summer Nights, Tomboy, and you talked about how a lot of LA artists like influence your music. So who are those LA artists that you look up to?
I would say some of it comes from like the Bay Area too. Like all of Cali, all over here. But Kehlani has always been like a main inspiration to me when it comes to just singing and my melodies and like R&B. Who else? Dang, I haven't been asked this question in a while. I'm like trying to like, but like Kehlani has always been my girl. Justin Bieber, of course, but he's not from here. But I think just the sound, the West Coast sound, like the Snoop Dogs and the Zapp and Roger, you know, and I don't think they're from here though, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Just whatever inspires me.
So tell me about your background. So I know you came from a really conservative background. Tell me, and I can relate to this in a little way, but how was it pursuing music and entering into this crazy industry? Because it's a lot, right? With a conservative background, how was that transition?
It wasn't as tough as I thought it was going to be. You know, I grew up in a very religious home. My dad was a worship leader, and when I was younger, my dad knew I was like doing music, so he was like, "Oh, like follow my lead." And so I was doing like leading worship with him like every Sunday. So I grew up in the church. I grew up playing the guitar, piano, bass, drums, singing. My dad being the worship leader, he had, you know, if a drummer called out sick, he'd be like, "Can you hop in?" And I would hop in and play drums for a Sunday. So my dad, I think, thought that I was just going to do that and be like him and go into the worship ministry and pursue that full time. But when I was 16, that's when I started writing music. And I had to tell my parents, like, yo, like, this is just temporary. The church provided me a place for me to get better at my gift and just practice and doing it all the time. So I'm ready to take it out for the world now, hit different stages outside of church and go on tour and do all this stuff. And my parents were like, okay, well, we don't know how we're going to do this, but we're going to make sure that we support you. So my mom and my dad, like they always drove me to LA whenever I had meetings or if I wanted to, you know, just come out here and like gain some inspiration and see what life I wanted for myself out here. Like they would always like drive me.
Oh, so I love that they supported you.
It wasn't a hard like
because especially when you come from that religious background, you know, the family, they want you to go into gospel music. Or
they tried. My dad tried. He tried, but I'm like, Pops.
That's not me. You know,
it's not me. It was, and it's always gonna have a special place in my heart. You know, always. But I'm like, yo, like this gift, I'm meant for bigger. I promise, it's my calling.
I love that so much. You recently put out a video where you sang a song to your parents about when you first came out to them. You posted the phone call. I want to read some of the lyrics real quick. You said,
absolutely.
I don't want you to pray for me. I don't need your sympathy. Please don't ignore me or act like I'm dead. How has your relationship with your parents been since then?
It's still a work in progress. You know, I think, you know, they probably had an idea, you know, but when I voice it, you know, it makes everything super real. But we haven't really had a crazy like conversation about it literally since the day I came out because it's kind of like, oh, like we're just gonna, you know, pray for her and, you know, eventually it will go away. You know, I still feel like, you know, they believe that, but they never, you know, disowned me or was like, you know, oh, this is stupid. Like I'm cutting you off and like, I'm not, you know.
Yeah. You posted a phone call also, like you recorded a phone call as you were coming out to your dad. And that was so powerful. I know it went crazy on TikTok and stuff, but he sounded like he said, you're still my baby girl.
Yeah. You know, he has his beliefs and he has, you know, the rules and everything that he stands by. But he was like, you're my daughter. Like I will never leave you abandoned. You know, I love you. And so
how much courage did it take for you to do that? Were you so nervous?
Yeah, I was like literally so nervous. That was the most nerve-wracking thing I've ever done in my life. Like I had always, you know, told myself like I'm like never coming out because I just knew it was just not going to be good. And so I wanted to record it, like film it, because, you know, I wanted to use it in like my future documentary and use like certain clips of it to like inspire people that are like holding on to that, because it was like making it really, really dark. Like I was really going through it. And I just knew the only thing that would help me get out of this darkness is if I just told two people, and that's my mom and my dad. So I did my mom separately because they're split up now. But I did my mom separately. Didn't have time to film that one, but then I called my dad about a month later, and the next day I was actually flying out to Paris, because I was like, regardless of how this phone call goes with my dad, good or bad, I'm going to Paris tomorrow, and I could literally just like heal over there. So yeah, after that phone call, I was like, period, catching a flight, like I'm out,
right?
You know.
See, what I love about you, and just what I've seen online, is you're so unapologetically yourself, and you encourage your fans to be the exact same way.
Yeah.
Even through your song "Tomboy," which I love. It's a bop.
It's
something you can dance to.
Thank
but
you.
It's also relatable for women to be comfortable in their own skin.
Exactly.
Why is that important for you to relay that message in your music?
It's so important because I feel like growing up for me, when I'd get called a tomboy, like I was always playing sports. I was playing basketball with the guys. I was skateboarding, you know, with all the guys. I had a lot of boy like friends growing up in school and stuff. And I'd always be called a tomboy, and I hated it because I'm like, I'm not a boy. Like I'm a girl. Like I'm a girl. I just do boy things. You know, I'm very athletic and this and that. And so I felt like there was just always just like this negative like feeling that I had towards the word, and I hated being called that until like, you know, I started getting older, and like, you know, I tried going down the girly way, and like, because I really did, because I want to see if I liked it, but I'm just like, nah, like something about baggy jeans and just like my sneakers, you know, I just feel so comfortable this way. And Tomboy was one of the first songs that I ever written like once I started like in the music business. So that was one of the first things that I wanted fans to know about me, was like, yo, I'm a tomboy too, and it's okay. It is not a negative, you know, meaning. This is a positive thing, because look at us being our true selves. Everyone has something to say about it. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, just do you. Who cares if you want to skate on Saturday and then go wear a dress the next day? It doesn't matter. Just be yourself.
I love that. And it resonates with so many people. I mean, seems like it goes viral. It pops up every few years.
No,
so
yeah.
TikTok.
Tomboy has gotten like a ton of recognition, like cosigns from like so many like of my favorite singers.
Well, yeah, I know Lisa from Blackpink did a dance to it and also I think you guys are friends.
We're friends now.
We're
friends now.
Yeah, she posted you on her story. Can you tell us what that relationship is like?
Oh man, yeah. Like I've been a fan of Blackpink even before she even danced to that song. And Lisa was like my favorite member, because I was like, this girl's fly.
She is.
I can relate to this one. Lisa's my like, I stand Lisa, right? Then she did the dance, and I was like, this is so dope. This is crazy. Numbers start going crazy. People, TikTok, it's blowing up. And then I think like a few months later, now I'm like kind of like the K-pop like scene, like kind of like recruited me and is like, yo, Destiny Rogers, like, can you write a song for this band? Can you write a song for this artist? So now I'm like in the K-pop world, and I had met an artist named Mark Chwan, and he was at the studio in LA where I record out of, and they knew about like Lisa, and like they're like, oh, like, have you met her yet? And I was like, no, I haven't. And then they're like, oh, FaceTimes her.
Casual.
FaceTimes her. We're eating tacos like at like a table, and I'm like, no way you're FaceTiming her right now. I was like, what if is she gonna answer?
Oh my gosh.
She answered. So that was our first interaction or introduction, was like over FaceTime, and then after that she was, yo, like, can I have your number? And I was like, yes,
wow.
you can.
It's not every day that Lisa from Blackpink asks for your number.
Yeah. So she asked me for my number, because, you know, I keep my like a little cushion. Like, I don't want to overstep and like scare anybody away. So I was just like, okay, nice to meet you. Well, can I get your number? I was like, yeah, you can. But then, yeah, after that, we started like hanging out, you know. We were just kicking it together in Japan last year. And then right the week after that, she invited me to Coachella. So we're at Coachella. And when she's in LA, you know, we always kick it. And I had a show. That was the story that you were talking about. She came to one of my little like pop-up performances for my album release in May. And so she came through like and just showed love and
a genuine friendship is what it sounds like.
A genuine friendship.
She seems so nice.
She's so sweet. She has one of like the best hearts. Because you know you meet, you know, women like celebrities, and like, you know, they're not like that great. You know what I mean? And they say never meet your idols, but like Lisa is like number one of my favorite people, like celebrities in this industry.
Wow.
Yeah.
Collaboration in the works with her, maybe, or even just in the K-pop space in general. In
no,
the future?
I'm definitely there will be something. For sure. Yeah.
Are we getting the exclusive?
Yeah.
Is it really?
No, there'll definitely be something.
Okay. We're going to be on the lookout for that.
One day.
But let's talk about the music that you do have out right now. So your album just came out in May. It's called Still Your Girl.
Mm-hmm.
Is the title a play on words of the words that your dad said to you?
Yeah. So, words about, what I wanted my parent, like, this was like, this title was like made up, like right in the beginning, like before I even came out to my parents. Like,
Okay.
I was like, if there was one thing that I want them to tell me, it would be that I'm still their girl. And even at that time with my ex, I was in a 2-year secret relationship with a girl. And even when we broke up, I still wanted to, like, I wanted her back and I was fighting for her back at the same time. So I hope I was still her girl. You know what I mean? So, and also God's girl, so that title just meant so much to me. And, wrote a song called Still Your Girl and named it the album.
I love it. What's the theme of the entire album?
The theme is just me, like the meaning, right? So there's 10 tracks on it from beginning to end. You start in the beginning, which is a song called Save My Love. And that was me coming to understand, like, that I am catching feelings for a girl and I love a woman. And this is new for me, but for some reason, I'm just going to go for it. Something's telling me to just go for it. And I was saving my love for her all along. And then Still Your Girl is track 2. We break up. And then about the next 4 songs after that are me grieving and going through, like, the moving on process and going through your first breakup, especially after 2 years. Like, I'm trying to get used to a new routine and I can't text you anymore. We can't call before bed anymore. It was those little things that I was used to for 2 years that I had to break. And so, and how I just wrote songs about how I, like, coped with that and what helped me, like journaling and going through, like, the depression and not wanting to get out of bed.
So you just take us through the whole journey.
I take you through the whole journey, and then she comes back in my life because we're trying to be friends, and then now she wants me and I don't, and then I'm just like, you know what? I just need to block you. Like, I just need to block you. I need to move on now. And then towards the end of the album, it's like, yo, I'm outside. I'm feeling good. Now it's the time for me to take care of my parents. The last thing that's a burden on my heart is my parents. So then I come out to my parents. And that was, like, the last song on the album. So album part 2 will be, like, the story. It continues.
Chills.
Yeah. So it's the whole thing. The whole thing.
When's part 2 coming out?
It's working. It's in the works right now. Yeah. We're, like, picking some songs. Not sure if I'm going to put out a Still Your Girl, like, deluxe and continue the story, or just put out a whole nother album. I don't care.
Well,
I'm independent now, dude. Like, I'm independent, so I'm able to do whatever I want.
You can do whatever you want.
I could drop all these bangers, like, in a month if I wanted to,
Nice.
So
We're ready for it all.
Yeah.
Let's talk about your song Bitter that we're playing on the radio.
Yay.
Please tell me how the song came to be. When did you write it? What were you going through during that time period? All the tea.
All right, here's the tea. Bitter is actually one of my favorite, like, songs to, like, explain the story about, because it's so tea. During the moment, I literally hated it. But like I said, I went through that relationship, that breakup, and me and my ex decided to become friends. And around that time, it was her birthday. And like I said, I was, like, trying to get her back, and I'm trying to do all these nice things to, like, get us back together and everything. It's her birthday, so I throw her this, like, surprise birthday party with, like, her and our friends. And I buy her this, like, iced out custom chain. And I took her and her friends out to dinner that I paid for. And I'm doing all these nice things. And later that night, right before I was going to leave, she's obviously drunk. But before I left, like, she comes up and kisses me. And I was like, ooh, we're onto something. I'm like, I got the butterflies again. Like, I was like, this could be, like, my second chance, like, our second chance of hope. And so I was, like, hella hype. And so then the next day, I wake up to this long text from her, like an apology text saying, like, yo, I'm so sorry I kissed you. I didn't mean it. I was blacked out. I don't remember a thing. My friends, told me that we kissed, and I'm so sorry, like, da-da-da-da. And then I was like, oh, like, damn. And so I go on my phone and I, like, text her back, and I'm like, okay, so you're telling me that you kissed me because you were drunk. It wasn't because you wanted to. And she was like, no, it's because I was drunk. I don't remember a thing. I was blacked out. And I'm like,
ouch.
Dang. So I had to start all over from the beginning again on moving on and, like, feeling that hurt again. And so that's what Bitter is about. Like, literally just, like, me being bitter. I talk about the night, like, take a shot. Happy birthday to you is the opening line. Like, it's literally to the T, everything.
Oh my gosh.
That happened that night.
I love how you just lay it all out in your music. You hold nothing back.
No, because it's real. Because, like, these are real things.
Yeah.
These are real experiences. Like, that everyone goes through.
So when you put these songs out into the world after, because you keep them close to you, that's from your heart, and then you release into the world for people to hear, people who it's about to hear. Does that make you nervous? Does that scare you?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
It doesn't scare me.
Okay.
No, I'm just like, I mean, I just love my work, and I'm a fan of myself.
Yeah. And you know that it can touch so many people, and a lot of people can relate to it. So if it helps other people, then why not?
Yeah, literally. And like for Still Your Girl too, like I know it's about like me coming out to my parents, but people can like young women too can feel like, yo, like they get pregnant at a young age, or they have an addiction and they're afraid to tell their parents, or they're struggling with depression or something, like, it's just like, yeah, it could be about anything.
You are so awesome.
Thank you.
You opened up for Madison Beer.
Oh, yeah.
How was that?
It was awesome. It was awesome. I've been a fan of Madison for so long, dude. Like, I would sing her songs, like, at those open mics I used to sing at back home. Like, when I was, like, just starting the grind.
Moment.
Dude, exactly. So I would sing her music. And so when I got, the offer to go on the road, I was like, yo, this is insane.
How did that offer come to be? Did she call you, or what happened? Like, how did she recognize who you were, or did she hear your music?
Well, so it was like back end with my agencies and stuff. But they told me that when they brought my name up to Madison knew who I was. She heard of me before. So that helped. So when I heard yeah, Madison's familiar with you already, I was like, oh, period. This is good. I'm not just like a stranger walking in someone's house. You know what I mean? Like, but that's kind of how it went down. But the offer got accepted like really fast. Like everything worked out. Everything worked out really, really easy. And then, so then she announced me I think 2 months before the road. And so that was like a big milestone in my career, because these are some of the biggest rooms I've ever done, like on a tour.
Insane.
Yeah.
What about your own headlining tour? Is that in the future?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I want to be able to do my first headlining hopefully by the end of this year, like fall-ish, or top of the year, because I also want to do an Asia run too.
Okay.
So I want to go to Asia. I want to do a few spots here in the U.S. and then go to Europe and do like London and Paris and Amsterdam.
Well, when you're in LA, please invite us. We all want to
you
go.
already know.
Please.
You already know. Write that down.
Passes.
Remember that. Yeah, I got you.
All right, before I let you go, this is a new hit list, and we love spotlighting new artists and new songs that maybe people don't know about. Mm-hmm. So is there an artist or a song on your playlist that you would like to shout out?
Yeah. I want to shout out my homegirl Upsall. She has a new song called Summer's So Hot. I actually got to tour with Upsall on the road with Madison Beer. So me and her hit the road together, and me and her just caught a vibe and a connection, and now we have like a genuine friendship after that tour. So Summer's So Hot is one of my favorite records right now during the summertime. And Upsall's super, super dope and a great woman. So yeah, go check it out.
Check it out. Well, thank you, Destiny, for hanging out with me. Appreciate you.
Absolutely. Thank you, girl. It was so fun.
It was fun. Come back again, okay?
Absolutely.
It's the new hit list on Kiss.